Hey everybody, this is Market Zero. Want to give an overview of how to onboard if you are in the pilot program and looking to install NinjaTrader and my footprint indicator and get that all set up. So this will be a quick walkthrough on that. I'll make another video that will go through the more detailed settings, but for this one I'm just going to help give a quick overview for those of you that are in the pilot program, because I think most of you will be ones that are transitioning from TradeVit into NinjaTrader. But first off, you'll need to sign up for NinjaTrader. Now, since many of you have a TradeVit account already, you can go to NinjaTrader and use your TradeVit account. If you go to my webpage and towards the bottom, there's a link to download the NinjaTrader desktop application. You click on that, and here, if you log in with your TradeVit credentials, once you log in, you'll see your live account and your demo account. If you go to settings, you can see everything you have as far as your plans, risk settings, all the stuff you're used to in TradeVit, market data, any type of add-ons you have as well. It's all here. But what you want to do is you want to go to the download. When you go to the download, you'll see the options for downloading. Once you do download NinjaTrader and install it, it doesn't have one window with a bunch of panes inside of it. It has a bunch of separate windows you kind of have to stack together. This window here is the main window, and from here you can do everything else pretty much from this point. You'll see here under new, there's a bunch of things like market, charts, new level 2. I just use the chart and nothing else. I would recommend chart and open up this window called data series. You can type in yes, I'll double click here, and then you'll see this window here for all the settings. Now this is important to set up the footprint. You will need to have the type as volumetric. You can see there's a bunch of different options for tick, volume, seconds, minutes, days, line breaks. We'll choose volumetric. We want base period. Well, I use range. Many of you also use range. If you're on ES, a lot of us use range of 20, which means we have 20 price levels formed for each footprint bar. And then for delta type, this is not relevant. You do want ticks per level for 1, unless you're using like Q or something in nature and you have something that has a thinner book, and therefore you might have your range at 100 or 80 for NQ, and therefore set your ticks per level at 4 or 5. Size filter, I keep it 0. And the rest of this, I just keep as the default. You can show the bar statistics. So this will be the volume grid down below. I do have this on, and then I customize the colors for the volume grid up above. And you can turn on a bunch of different items here. And the last thing to mention is that the trades. These I turned off for now, only because the footprint indicator overlays on top of this, and so you're only going to see this partially. And so because of that, I don't actually have these on. So I do not plot that. And this is the native NinjaTrader order flow. I would validate your machine ID number. If you go to help about, you'll see a machine ID. Copy this and go to the link you have for the pilot account setup for onboarding. And there's a form on that page to paste this in there. I'd submit that number in the form, and you'll see that your current machine ID will be logged on that page. That's visible only to you, and that will be recorded for myself. It's a manual process for now. Once you've done that activation, you may look at this and want to change things. I'll show you right here that there's an option here for properties. Here you can change all the colors and whatnot for grids, things of that nature. Once you do that, you'll be able to save it. So you see templates, you'll be able to load templates you have already, save templates, save things as default. You go to Tools, Import, click on Ninja Script Add-on. Grab the zip file that you download and install it. So going back to the chart, you can either right-click and go to Indicators. Brings up all of the indicators within NinjaTrader, including the one that you just installed for me, which is the MX footprint. You can double click here, and now you'll see all the settings for the NinjaTrader footprint indicator. First thing you'll want to do is take that 32 character machine ID that we showed earlier from the About dialog box and paste it in here. If you don't do that, you hit, you're going to get a warning that it's the invalid license. You will also need to have the order flow plus add-on. If you don't have that, you will also get a similar warning. Once you paste that in there, you'll see that there is now the footprint indicator that I've developed in the background. Here you change the zoom of the number of bars by clicking and holding the x-axis, the time, and expanding and contracting that. You can actually change the width manually by just using your keyboard. So if you go to Alt and then use the arrow keys up or down, you can use the keyboard to actually expand or contract. I'll quickly just touch base on the sections here. These are all just the general colors for delta, candle colors. You can apply these changes and see them in real time, so you don't need to close the dialog box. Unlike TradeOvit, you had to close to see the updates. Here you can see the updates automatically. We load the bid ask view, but we also have the delta total view here as well, just like we have in the TradeOvit indicator, but the new view now is also bid ask. We still have the compact view and the normal view, and there are options again for hiding alt text all the time or just hiding based on the zoom levels. We have the divergence in here as well. A new function here is the high volume bar. So now we can mark high volume and call out the levels for each one of these. And we have the point of control and value area high low like we have previously. A couple of newer things which I worked really hard on. Volume imbalances. This is completely new. These will show when there is volume on one side greater on one side to the other. So here I have an imbalance ratio by default of 3. You can have a minimum imbalance delta, but here the ratio is 3 to 1. In one case, maybe we have 100 on one side and then on the ask and then 300 on the bid. We will see that high level volume bar highlighted. So in this case, we'll see we have imbalance ratio of 3, and now we also have the minimum adjacent levels of 3. If there are 3 volume imbalances that are touching each other, they will create a zone. And for example, if you zoom in here on this footprint bar, you'll see there's 152 on the ask, only 9 on the bid. This is definitely greater than 3, so this has that border. Same here, 58 and 4, it's greater than 3, so this again will meet that criteria. You do notice that there are 3 here, and when this was formed, this created a volume imbalance zone, but once price intersects with these, it is removed. If you want to see an area that's active, well, here's an active area up here right now, is that it doesn't need to be on the screen to see it. I could be zoomed in here and not see where that is formed, but the zone will still appear. So the great thing is there could be areas of volume imbalance that you aren't even aware of because you can't see the footprint bar, but because the zones are created for the full 3 days, you will see zones for the past 3 days. And if they come near active price level as it move towards it, you will see that intersection. For example, see back here, I don't know where this is even coming from. We have a seller imbalance somewhere back quite a few days ago. I don't even know where this was, but it was formed a while ago. Well, here's one down there. And then the one we saw from opening the chart, oh, it's right here. If we zoom in on this, price never intersected this price level. And if we zoom in even more, you'll see that this meets the criteria where we had 21 bid, 1 ask, 18 bid, 0 ask, and 44 bid, and 3 ask. So we had 3 volume levels that are adjacent to each other. They have their 3 to 1 ratio or greater, and that formed that volume imbalance zone. And it is active right now because we have not had price intersect that yet, which will maybe bring me to the zero print. You no longer need Bookmap to see the zero prints. You can see active zero prints for the regular trading hours with this indicator, which is incredible. There's an option now in here to ignore the zero prints at the highest or lowest volume bar, and then you can extend the zero print zones. So much like the volume imbalance zones, we have now zero print zones as well. Next item is the zero print session scope. So on the TradeOvit indicator, we have zero print show for each bar. Now it's set to the scope, but you can define that scope. It can either be for the full trading day, so we count zero prints from the time the market opens until the time the market closes. If you select RTH, regular trading hours, now you can set the times to regular trading session. And the last 2 items here is the limit zero print to 1 per scope. So if I deselect this, it'll show zero prints like you see here. Your price is traded at the bar previous to this, right? So this is not a valid zero print. But if I select this checkbox and limit it to the scope defined by the RTA, it will not count that because price is traded at level before. So even though it was a zero print technically on that bar for the entire session, it was not valid. I have the setting here on zero prints where you can persist the zero print highlights. So if you have persist 0 print highlights on, it'll show filled 0 prints, but that were valid in the past. If I deselect this and apply, you'll see that that border is removed, which is really nice. The same thing is true for persist imbalance highlights. You see over here, even on this bar here, right, there is highlights there, but now prices move through that, so maybe we're not as concerned about that anymore. So if we deselect that box, you see those borders are removed. So thank you for that. Let me know if you have any questions. DM me on Discord if you have any questions, and looking forward to working with all of you in the near future here, this coming week.